Hello everybody, my name is KingStix, and in this video we're going to be going over 5 tips for climbing ranked solo queue in Season 9 League of Legends. I only wish I could have put out this video before Season 9 actually started. Now that it's begun, a lot of you who've already jumped into ranked without really thinking about it or any plan of action. This video is for those of you who want to climb as fast as possible without playing an insane amount of games, basically avoiding the grind, the 50 to 53% win rate where you play a game, lose a game, play a game, lose a game. The first tip for climbing ranked solo queue for as fast as possible is don't play ranked right now, guys. You really shouldn't be playing ranked for 2 weeks minimum once the season starts, and this applies for any season. So whether it be season 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, it doesn't matter. If you jump right into rank, there's still a lot of things that haven't been hammered out, a lot of bugs, kinks, and things that you don't want to be the beta tester for. The thought process behind the 2-week minimum is it takes 14 days for League of Legends to put out a new patch. So if you wait 2 weeks, you should be playing on the next patch that hammers out and fixes a lot of the current errors or bugs, especially right now in Season 9 on NA and Korea. Currently, they have implemented a brand new rank system where you have a rank in each role. If you want more info on that, check out some of my other videos. Long story short, that system isn't perfect right now. There are a lot of good things about it, but there are also a lot of bad things that they're gonna need to fix and hammer out. For those of you who don't care because you're not playing on NA or Korea, you should, because after a little bit, they said they're gonna roll out these changes to the rest of the regions, in which case you should probably stop playing ranked for a week or two to avoid any imbalances, bugs, and errors in the new system. Less than 1% of the League of Legends community is even going to see this video, so you might as well let the majority of people be the beta testers and waste their time winning a game, losing a game, winning a game, losing a game in the new system, while you let the new system get hammered out and you figure out what works for you. Many of you are worried that if I don't start now, I won't be able to get to my desired rank. That's simply an illusion. That is simply an illusion. Most players have around a 49 to 52% win rate, which means you're essentially just gonna play a game just to lose the next game. So if you are serious about climbing without wasting your time, you should follow this rule and not play the season for a minimum of 2 weeks, but ideally a whole month. Me personally, back before I used to do this, I would start out in the new season. It would really hurt my win rates and my MMR, so I wouldn't gain as much. I would start from day 1 and play, and after around the first month, I would be around D5, but my win rate would be hurt and so would my MMR. However, in the last 2 seasons, I've been doing it differently. I've always waited for 2 weeks to a month, and then when I play, I get to D5 with a much higher win rate and a much shorter amount of games. Not only does this avoid frustration, but allows me to climb even higher much faster instead. Moving on to tip number 2, your champion pool. There is a lot of debate over champion pool, but I'll tell you from first-hand accounts and from people I've coached, you will ultimately climb the fastest in the short term by playing only one champion and mastering it, using it in rank. You'll have a huge advantage over everybody else since the knowledge you have over your champion should surpass everyone else for the most part. The issue with one-tricking a champion is it makes it very hard for you to pick what's best for your team, especially in lower elo where games tend to last a little bit longer. If your whole team is AP or your whole team is AD, it's going to be very difficult for you to win the game after the 30-minute mark since the enemy team can just stack one kind of resistance, thus making your team's damage irrelevant. If you are only able to, on average, play 5 games of League of Legends a week, you should only play roughly one champion in rank to maximize your LP gains and win rate. Once you get a really good understanding of your champion, you truly master it and understand how it works with all champions and plays against all champions, you should be able to make it to D4 with that champion pretty much no matter what you main. However, if you are able to play 10 or more games a week of League of Legends, I highly recommend you go with this formula, which can take you far past low diamond and into challenger. Many high elo players use and endorse this formula like Dopa. It's very simple and easy to follow as well. The base of this formula is you want 2 champions for your main role and then 1 champion for your secondary role. Whenever you don't get those 2 roles, it's very simple, you just dodge. On your main role, you want to have an AP and an AD style champion. That way, if your team has no AP or your team has no AD, you can flex into that role and give your team a much better chance of winning the game, even if it goes into the late game. On your secondary role champion, try to pick something that has a very low ban rate and a relatively low pick rate. That way, if you do get put on your secondary role, you can go into it with confidence, get your champion, and be able to carry your team. Many of you who only play one role are probably wondering which secondary role you should pick up. The best answer I can give you is if you main jungle or AD carry, your secondary role should be support, since it is in general one of the easier roles to main, and it has very easy champions to play with above a 50% win rate, even with little knowledge of those champions, with having access to things like Soraka and Sona, who can both carry their team without advanced mechanics just by being very patient and peeling for their carries. If you are a top lane player, oftentimes you're going to put mid as your secondary, and if you're a mid lane player, oftentimes you're going to put top lane as your secondary, since many champions who play top or mid can play the either role seamlessly. If you do play a highly specialized character in the top or mid lane who cannot play the opposite role, I would recommend using support as your secondary role, since support is the lowest main role. People tend to get autofilled into it most often. Tip number 3 is all about dodging and utilizing it properly. If you do get autofilled on a champion or role in ranked that you have less than a 51% chance of winning with, your best bet 100% of the time is to just dodge. With your first dodge of the day, you will occur a 6-minute dodge Q timer and you will lose 3 LP. Don't worry, this does not affect your MMR in any way, shape, or form. MMR is by far more important. Think of LP as bread and MMR how much you get paid a month. Let's say you get paid 100 loaves of bread a month. You just dodged, you lost 3 loaves of bread. Guess what? The next month you're still going to get 100 loaves of bread. Therefore, dodging and losing those 3 loaves of bread is much better than playing the game, losing 20 loaves of bread, and next month you're only going to get 90 loaves of bread instead of 100. For those of you who like to grind and play a lot of games in one day, this next tip is for you. Whenever you are playing ranked League of Legends and you want to climb with the highest win rates, losing the least amount of games possible, you need to be climbing with a minimum of 2 accounts. A lot of you might think this will make climbing take a lot longer. On the contrary, it makes it a lot faster. The biggest problem people run into when playing ranked is they refuse to dodge because of the dodge timer. They drag themselves through a game that they have an overwhelming chance of losing because of a champ select troll or because they themselves are autofilled. Instead, if you were more willing to dodge the game, you wouldn't be hurting your MMR at all and you'd be losing a lot less LP. In the meantime, instead of sitting there twiddling your thumbs and being upset about having to dodge, you can go onto your other account and play ranked. By using this 2 account shuffle, you can completely avoid the ranked dodge timers and you can climb much more efficiently and be way less stressed out about the dodge timers and losing a tiny bit of LP. If you do not have a second League of Legends account, you can always level up another one by hand. That takes forever though, and unless you're willing to use XP boost, you could be playing upwards to over a month pretty much all day long. If you want to get a second account, I would recommend just going out and buying one. Try to get one that doesn't have any skins on it, no high dollar items, just a bare bones cheap level 30 account. If you go out and get one that has a bunch of stuff on it, there's a likelihood that the owner is going to steal it back. Make sure the seller has lots of feedback and an overwhelming positive rate of at least 95% to make sure nothing fishy is going on. And here we are at tip number 5. In any given day, you only have a maximum amount of mental energy, which is why I recommend you never play more than 10 ranked games maximum in a single day. This can change depending on how much mental energy you have or how healthy you are. Most people probably shouldn't play past 7 or 8 ranked games per day. Me personally, I've found throughout the years, my peak mental energy when I start to taper off pretty hard is after the 9 or 10 game mark. If you work a day job or you do something very strenuous before you play League of Legends, your mental energy will be a lot less than average. In those cases, consider playing even less ranked games, somewhere around 5 or 6 max. After you have your range of how many high quality League of Legends ranked games you can play in a given day, you want to try to approach those games in a set based system. I personally go off of a 3-game set based system. Each set you have 3 games. If you win the majority of those 3 games, take a 10-minute break between that set to fill up on water, food, restroom, and try to get a bit of fresh air outside. This will help keep you playing fresh and playing at your prime. If you do lose 2 games in a row, you should take at least a 30-minute break. Things can get a whole lot worse, believe me. that 2-game streak that you think you can win back can easily turn into a 10-game lose streak. Even if you are early in your day and you have a lot of mental energy left, this will help you to reset your mental so you can get back into playing the games on a fresh start. If you lose 3 games in a row, take a serious look at what's happening, and you need to take at least a 1-hour break. If not, just take the whole day off if you are reaching the end of your mental energy for that day. Utilize these 5 tips and you will climb much higher with much fewer games. Play ranked smarter, not harder. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me out a lot and I really do appreciate it. My name is KingStix. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.